Thank you so much for staying with us. Nigeria's harsh business environment has no doubt affected operations of businesses in the country negatively, of course, and the bakers are not left out of some of the operators are being forced to shut down their businesses as a result of the astronomical increase in price of baking ingredients, which has been coming too unbearable for them to bear. Bread, which is a staple food in the country, is gradually becoming a scarce commodity for the common man due to its high price by the rise of costs of flour and other baking materials. Well, it's interesting to know that the price of flour has increased to 33,000 per bag. It might even be more than that, but I'll confirm in the last few weeks, while the cost of other ingredients, including sugar, margarine, others have also shot up in the market. With the dollar slightly losing its grip on the naira, with flour millers say is a major cold factor behind the hike in the price of flour. The big question begging for answer now is, why is the cost of baking ingredients still on the high side? Well, I don't know. I'm a journalist, but I'm speaking to the person that has the right answers. My job is to ask the questions. I'm the president of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, PBAN, Mr. Emmanuel Onoha. He's an engineer too, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Tolu. Good afternoon, Nigerians, and good afternoon, viewers at home.
Yes, I want to start with, what is the state of the baking industry at the moment? Of course, and even your members, how are they faring now?
Well, like every other business in Nigeria, the baking industry is in a dire strait, facing all sorts of challenges, you know. Like Ayo posited, Ayo posited in your interview with him,
yes,
not quite long, you know, there is a disconnect, you understand, in the value chain of the inputs that is almost 100% import dependent. You know, we don't have most of these things in country, except for flour that we produce locally here. You know, and when you talk of the flour, the ingredient, I mean, the raw material comes from outside the country, almost 100%. Wheat comes from outside the country, 100%. So we are not immune from the vagaries of the economic downturn in Nigeria. So it's affecting us recently. Recently, one of the biggest bakeries in Lagos that does about 200, 300 bags a day shut down with the attendant loss. Yeah, even capacity has dropped by as much as 70%. You know, where you were doing maybe 100 bags before, you understand, you are doing 25, 30 now. And it's a very huge concern for us as businesses, because businesses are shutting down. My members are facing all sorts of challenges, health and economic pressure and all that. And you know, the most worrying aspect of it is even the Nigerian that is buying. There is no longer headroom for you to even do anything any longer, because everybody is suffering. Expendable income has dried up. Is it not when you have money that you buy the bread? So it's a very, very tough one. It's a tough call for us in the baking industry. Very, very tough.
But let's talk about the 15% wheat development levy that we talked about at the time. Yeah. Has government done anything about that?
No, they've not done anything about it, you know, and it's a very...
How do we enable the...
I don't know. It's a very shameful thing, really. Let's be realistic. Everybody's in business to be profitable. Even the millers themselves, you understand, they have their own challenges. 15% with development levy, of course, like I always say when I interview I go, was a brainwork of Goodluck Jonathan. It was supposed to be a stopgap for 2 years, you know, but every government that has come before, let's say the present government, does not even see the need to even stop it. What they are doing is they are putting the 15% wheat development levy, and there's another 15% on wheat duties on wheat import, which makes it a cumulative of 30%. You understand? For just wheat import, just imagine what it means. If you are doing maybe 1 billion USD wheat into the country, you are paying maybe 300 million as duty. Which business can even survive that? You know, we've done a lot of advocacy. We've gone to the government. We've written ourselves and even our sister association, the Master Bakers. We have written to the government jointly. We've met with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and we've put our positions very, very lucid before them. But nothing has come out of it. I think, to me, these things are laughable, because you cannot be stifling and killing businesses and expect economic growth in any country. You know, these are minor, small, medium enterprise that are supposed to thrive. You understand? But, I mean, they are not thriving when businesses are shutting down. Let me tell you, for instance, in my bakery, we used to have about 150 workers. Today, I have 45 of them. I've laid off about how many percent of my workers have gone home. And the possibility of even laying more off, it's very imminent, because why? the business does not pay me as much as I do. If you don't have sight also to get money to put into the business, you are in a dire strait. Every time it's always director's contribution. If you look at our financials at the end of the year, you get your accountant to come and do it. Director contribution is always very humongous. And I mean, no business survives on that. So we are facing a lot of challenges. And we are, by this medium, calling on the federal government to see what they can do, or else. Bread is a staple. It's a grab and go that every Nigerian, rich or poor, grabs and go. Children come back from school, they put spread on it and they eat it. If it goes comatose, it's going to be a problem. We are already facing insecurity challenges. If you include the food insecurity in it, it becomes a huge problem. Let me tell you, this is bread that is supposed to be affordable. Not only bread now, you talk about rice and every other thing has even gone almost out of the reach of Nigerians, you understand? So the government must hear us. But sometimes it's like we are just sounding like a cracked record. Nobody listens to anybody. And countries don't run that way. No country runs that way. You must listen to us.
You also have the impact of the FX thing, which is killing inputs for your business.
Big time.
But there's a little bit of reprieve. The Naira is gaining some little. It was about almost 900 Naira, and we're doing about 750 as of today. Are you also planning to increase bread anytime soon?
No. Look, let's be realistic. I don't want to go into pricing, because the moment I say you are increasing bread here now, the news tomorrow everywhere is carrying it, and there's a lot of tension.
Yes, already.
Yes, Nigerians are suffering already. I'm saying that you don't even have a headroom to do anything. How can you fathom this? A normal, regular 1,500 pack of gram, 1.5 kg gram of bread, the big size, is going for 1,200. Come on, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You understand? So, like your question, let me do some justice to it. Yes, maybe we are indirectly impacted. The other day, let me tell you, like you pointed out, flour is now 33,000, depending on where you are buying from. Maybe outside Lagos, it might be more than that. Some people are, you understand. We have what we call our softener that used to do the bread. I was just in the office last week here, they added 50,000, something that they were selling 550,000. They increased it by 50,000. Our yeast that we were buying for maybe 19,000 is now 24,800. Preservative that we're buying for 43,000 is now going for 47,000, for as much as 50,000. How long can you keep bearing all of these things? You understand? So it's a very, very torrid one for us, because even those people that are bringing these things in, they need the FX stability to be able to plan and project. Yes. Like the millers, you understand? They do features, they do their forecast based on maybe 6 months.
Some of them are projecting already.
Yeah, so they are projecting. You understand? They are not small businesses. These are big businesses. Yeah. So the government must see what they can do to help the millers out, because once they help the millers, remove that 15% with development levy, remaining the other 15%, it can cascade down to us. And if it cascade down to us, then businesses will be operating in a benign environment. But as it is currently, we are very, very much in. Let
me ask you. There was a time we were talking about cassava and even potatoes. Can we add all of these inputs to help maybe reduce the price?
Well, yes and no. Yes, is it possible? Yes. Percentage-wise, how many? Recently, the Cassava Growers Association, the Cassava Flour Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, gathered my members. We were in Firo at Oshodi to do a demo on the wheat, the cassava infusion into flour. We were able to do up to 10%. What does it mean? You have to do maybe 90% of, if you are bagging a 50 kg bag of flour, if you are bulking that, you understand, you use 40 and then put 10 cassava. If you go anything beyond that, it becomes a big problem, you understand. Cassava is rancid. Cassava is acidic, It doesn't have gluten. What has the gluten content is the wheat. So if you are not careful the way you do it, it becomes a big problem, And then after we did 10%, 10% is nothing to write home about. It wouldn't give us the impact in cost reductions that is expected to cascade down to people, And at the end of the day, we asked about the price of the wheat. A 50 kg bag of it is 25,000 for something that we produce in country. And we're asking them, why will it be this expensive? Why not get it down to a reasonable extent, maybe like 12K or 10K? Then you can now begin to add it. And then there's the growers' problem. Do they even grow enough cassava to be able to
meet up?
We went to the orange fledged sweet potato We call it the potato puree. You know, okay, after we did the demo, it came out very well. That one came out very well. It improved the texture of the bread, enhanced the sweetness, changed the coloration and everything. But at the end of the day, it was still the same problem. Come and supply us now. These guys cannot even turn it to flour. It's still in the liquid form. That means we are going to invest again in cooling assets. And what does that mean? Increase in capex, your capital expenditure. Yes. So the whole thing doesn't even add up. There is a need for the Federal Ministry of Industry and Investment, FIRO and all of it, both the industry, all of us to come together to see what we can do. Because whether you like it or not, anything import that is import-driven is not sustainable. There must be backward integration. Yeah. The government must be deliberate. They must do something deliberate like they did with the cement people, backward integration. We should do it in wheat. 13 states grow wheat in Nigeria. Let me tell you this. We consume between 4.760 metric tons to 5 million metric tons of wheat every year. Nigeria is able to produce at most 200,000, despite the support from the millers. You understand? So we need the government to come in, give support, give leverages to these people so that at the end of the day, they can grow this thing. We have backward integration, and the country will be better for it. You can even get to a level where you can even export, and then your balance of trade between yourself and other countries will be enhanced. 13 states are growing wheat in Nigeria. Why are we not able to grow sufficient wheat that can help the industry in Nigeria?
Let's move on now, because I'm saying, give or take, what do you think, if this continues, this hike continues this way, what do you think will be the future of the industry? The
industry will collapse. It's almost near collapse now. It will collapse. The baking industry will collapse. Let me tell you this. Why you still see bread on the table is because people, ignorant people, you know, maybe people that are retired from work don't even know what they want to use money for, rush into bread making. They think that it's profitable. As they rush in, they rush out like Russians. You understand? So there is no, they don't do any due diligence. They just rush in. If not, ordinarily, most of the legacy bakeries have almost all gone down.
At the moment?
Yeah. It's just new entrants that are coming with all sorts of shenanigans and all that in the industry. How much can you do to regulate it?
Reading through this, I also said I was going to ask you, because the relationship with the likes of Standards Organization of Nigeria, NAFDAC and all of that, with PBAN, how's that relationship been?
Well, we have a very cordial working relationship with NAFDAC, and they're doing their best, you understand? But you know NAFDAC too.
But there was a time there was a renewal issue, I heard at the time.
The NAFDAC too is understaffed. Yeah, we go there every time. There were 2,300 workers to service the entire country and all that. How can they do that? You understand? So the government should to look at this whole thing. We've been crying and crying ourselves hoarse that the government should look at this whole thing, see how they can get in more people, more professionals to go and work, more professionals to go work in NAFDAC. For SON, we don't have any problem with them. We work with them. They are, NAFDAC is our major regulators. SON comes in once in a while and all that. So we don't have any problem with them. All we say is that they are doing the much they can, despite their, especially for NAFDAC, despite the challenges they face staff-wise.
Well, before I let you go, before now, when people talk about businesses, the first complaint or the major complaints we hear is funding, monies to invest in these businesses. So do you get loans from the likes of Smedan, Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture? We hear that these monies are available.
Nobody gives anybody any money. I mean, as an association, we've tried to see Bank
People
of
coming
Industry.
in group?
Yeah, as an association, we've gone to Bank of Industry. We've written them, no reply. Smedan, we've done all we needed to do. Nobody is looking at anybody's face. You understand? The truth is, at the end of the day, this whole thing is corruption-laden. You know, so if you do an audit on this whole Smedan and all this money that is being released from CBN, you will be shocked at what you get. But big ups to the Lagos State government. Those of us that are operating around Lagos area, the Lagos State government has been very supportive to their LSETF, the Lagos State Employability Trust Fund. You know, they had a post-COVID fund that at least my members were able to draw from. Some of them is in grants and in loan. And the loan is, I think they said it's World Bank, they call it Lagos Cares. I think it's something they facilitated from the World Bank. And my members have been getting some of those loans. some of those grants, and some people are still applying for the loan that they say is a 5% interest. So I want to thank the Lagos State government very so much for the much they are doing or they've done for my members, but we want them to do more, and we want the federal government to take a cue from this other states too. Ogun State, my members are there. The same thing that Lagos that is contagious to Lagos is doing, Ogun cannot do. So if people can take a cue from Lagos, let others say begin to replicate these things. This money are there. If they bring it, it's not only Lagos State they are giving. What we need to do is to be more transparent and help businesses to thrive in the 36 states and the FCT. This money are meant to be given to people. It's not meant to be kept in one corner or for cronies and gatekeepers. It shouldn't be. It's for the businesses. That is the only way you can reflate the economy. As we speak today, food inflation is 23.7%. Is it my memory get me right?
Yes,
inflation is 20.77. How do you survive those things? Look at workers. Every day workers are borrowing. They go to the bank. Before the money comes back again, they are borrowing again. It's a vicious circle for them. Nobody has done any salary reviews and all that. No country grows like that. And then there is this issue that is very, very pertinent too. In the States, there is what we call, every year, we have what we call local government papers. These are little things that are killing businesses. At June, they will come back again. Say it's, what do they call it, mid-year. What is mid-year when you've taken money from me at the beginning of the year from local government and you begin to interrogate them? They'll say it's federal government. And it's not federal government. When you go to the SGF, to the office of the SGF, what has federal government got to do with haulage of goods by trucks? So these are things that we should begin to interrogate in this country. The government must begin to step in. Once we write to them, to the appropriate agencies, they should respond so that we can all work together to see how we can begin to stop this, because there are too many touts in the road. Many touts in the road. Like Lagos State government, at the time, we had a meeting with the speaker after picketing them. The speaker, they set up a committee. We met with them and the government and all that, the conference 57. And at the end of the day, they told us, these are our bounds. These are what we need to do. Other states should begin to replicate these things. And the federal government, what is mid-year? What is federal government's own with vehicle papers? It shouldn't be. One just before I came out now, one even just came to my bakery and was telling, I said, my friend, live here. The state government has said this is not your fault. Live here. You are just a tout. Live here. But how many people can have that? How many people can have the guts to do that?
I must thank you so much, Mr. Manonoha. I know it's really very important when you talk bread. I see that passion because it's a staple food, like we say, and it should always be available as at when due. Mr. Emmanuel Noha is the president of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, PBAN. We'll follow up with you as we move towards the festive season to see maybe there will be a shift or maybe there could be a change. Anything could happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tulu, as ever. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, for listening.
All right, then. Well.